Hello guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video, my friends, we are going to be testing Dragon Gaiden, the new version of the game, and actually I'm going to be testing it on RX 6600 GPU. You can see the specs right here. You can see a RX 6600 Gigabyte model, and you can see a Ryzen 5 3600 processor, and you can see a DDR4 3200 MHz RAM, that is 16 gigabytes. All of the system specs are not overclocked in any way, and I'm going to be showing you the settings right here. We are using full screen 1080p 144 Hz, and I've just adjusted some advanced settings and turned everything to the highest. Currently I'm using MLAA, which I'm going to just turn to TAA because MLA is kind of like a little bit shimmery, so I'm going to try that. Alright, let's get back into the game with ultra settings now, and let's see how it performs. Alright, as you can see, let's start counting the FPS here. We're in the second mission of the game, maybe the first one, and it's kind of like just this area where there are several people. We're not in the city right now, but I'm gonna try to move forward and see how the game actually runs. We're getting close to 100 FPS, which is very good. This game has FSR 1 and 2 right now, which I could see in the menu. Looks like there is about to be a fight here, so I'm just gonna skip all this because these are spoilers. Yeah, so let's just try and kill these guys. I don't know what they're saying. Right here, if I'm able to turn it down, yeah, FSR 2 and FSR 1. So I'm gonna turn it to quality FSR 1, and let's confirm this and go back into the game. Alright, so FSR 2 on first glance, it kind of looks like it's a little bit blurrier than native resolution, and also you can see I'm getting close to close to my monitor's refresh rate, which is a 144 Hz monitor. So yeah, this experience looks very good in my opinion. The particle effects, they're also looking good and not so bad. This is just a click fest. Oh my god. Alright, just die. This. Alright, yeah, so 130 FPS right now. Alright, so seems like we have a lot of more people on the screen now with FSR 2 enabled, and we're getting a little bit lower performance than before. Like previously we were getting close to 144, now we are getting about 120s, a higher 120s. Still is a very amazing experience if you ask me, and also doesn't look really that bad compared to the native resolution. Native is always sharper in this case, also sometimes shimmery. Previously when I was using MLAA, it was kind of shimmery, and after using TAA it became kind of softer. So this FSR 2 is softer than TAA even. So yeah. Alright guys, so we are at 1440p resolution now, and let's show the advanced settings here. We are using everything to the maximum, and FSR 2 is currently turned off. Everything is currently to the maximum. Alright, so with everything to the maximum and 1440p, we're getting half the frame rate which we were getting at 1080p, and the game looks very sharp as compared to previously. Yeah, so that's an amazing experience. Look at the fire effects and those sparkling effects there. It looks very good. Let's just try and kill these guys. We're getting lower frame rates now. Let's start counting the frame rates while we're just fighting here. So, okay. Right, so a little bit of cutscene right there, and as we grab the weapon, so I'm just going to turn on FSR 2 in a little bit, but as you can see, about 44 FPS average, which is pretty consistent. Looking at anywhere, we're still getting about 44, and that goes from 90 that was coming from 1080p. Half of that we are getting about 45. So yeah, let me just go ahead now, and this fight is over, I think. Alright guys, so seems like we're in the city area, and this is less intensive to my surprise compared to previously when we were in the fight sequence actually, and we're getting about 50 FPS. So let's just go ahead in the settings and go to the graphical options, and let's turn on FSR 2 now. I'm not gonna try to run into FSR 1 in this video because already you guys know that FSR 2 is better than FSR 1, so I'm gonna just run FSR 2 and try to run the game on that. And look at that, amazing. Yeah, so the game looks also very good, and as you can see, the frame rate right there it's reaching above 60 most of the time, like 76 75 fps average. Let's try to run, and looks like it won't let me go there, so we have to follow that arrow right there. Let's just try to follow that and see what frame rate do we get. We are getting about 80 fps. Let's go here. Yeah, about 80 fps, 78. Yeah, very good experience in my opinion. Now I'm not gonna use let's just do one thing. I'm gonna go ahead and now I'm gonna turn off FSR2, turn the settings, go back, and there's a graphical quality option here. I'm gonna turn it to high. So medium settings, 1440p now. Alright, still about 50 fps. Oh my god, it's not changing. Still the same area at medium settings and high settings. There is not much of a difference. Okay, so there are guys there that need to fight me, so I'm gonna just try to just do a benchmark here, and as you can see, about 49 fps average at medium settings. This is kind of weird. My guy is just blowing them up. Alright, so 47 fps average. So maybe the game has become more intensive than before, and that's why we're getting about 50s same fps. So the turning down the settings didn't do much, so I'm gonna turn down the settings more. Let's go to medium preset and on 1440p, and let's try to benchmark now. Alright, so medium preset, actually I think everything is turned to low now in the advanced graphics, but I'm not gonna check that. Let's try and run here about 100 fps now, 98 fps. This is the fps that we were getting like at 1080p ultra settings. Now we are getting at 1440p medium settings. Alright, let's go to the lowest possible now, at least the lowest possible preset now, which is, oh no, it's low then extra low. So let's go back and let's confirm this. Let's see. Alright, so 108, so it looks like it increased the FPS like 10 more FPS, but the game is starting to become shimmery and doesn't look very good. So if you got a lower end GPU, this is gonna benefit you. Yeah, 124 sometimes, and the game doesn't even stutter a little bit, so this is very good. Now let me just go ahead and go to extra low settings. Alright, and let's see. Okay, still the same FPS, so it looks like it's becoming CPU bound now. As you can see, the GPU usage is dropping, so there is no use. Now let's go to 4K and let's see how this game is performing. Alrighty guys, we are at 4K resolution now at extra low preset. I've not turned on any FSR2 or FSR1. I'm just gonna see if we can play this game at 4K. Indeed we can, more than 60 FPS. Oh my god, that's good. And the game doesn't look it has shadows and stuff. It doesn't become crappy. It becomes like the games that are for the lower end hardware, but it doesn't look crappy in my opinion. So yeah, 82 FPS average at extra low. I'm gonna turn it to low now. It's no use using the FSR2 at these settings. We are gonna try that in some other settings. So going from low now, going from extra low to low, it's got from about 70 to 80 to 60s, and I think it will drop in the higher 50s sometimes when you go to the more intensive scenes. Let's try to fight these guys and see if we get some drops here. Okay, so seems like about 64 FPS average, and let's go to medium preset now at 4K. Alright, so okay, so it went from 60s to about 40s. So medium preset is kind of intensive as compared to low. This is about I would say 40% decrease in performance, coming from 60 to about 40. Yeah, so 40 is now becoming lower than 60, so I'm gonna try to turn on FSR2, which is gonna look very good at 4K. So let's just, oh my god, so FSR2 is applied in the presets, guys. FSR2 was automatically applied in the presets, so I'm not gonna bother with that. I'm gonna go to high preset now, and let's see if FSR2 is applied or not. So FSR2 on high preset is not applied actually. So let's see on native high preset 4K. How does it perform? Alright, so native high settings at 4K is getting about 22 FPS average. So they drop money when you kill them. Alright, about 22 FPS average. I am going to go now into the settings and I'm going to turn on FSR2, which was automatically turned on at medium settings. I didn't know. So also let's turn off motion blur, which was also enabled. Let's go to quality FSR2 now. And yeah, doubling of FPS. Oh my gosh, from 22 to about 43, 44. Let's start counting the frames again. Okay, so yeah, FSR2 is very good in this game at 4K. You can even play this game at 4K in my opinion. Let's turn the FSR2 to medium now. To balanced, sorry. And let's increase the sharpness a little bit. It's 0.7. Okay, now balance FSR2 at 4K and netting about 50 FPS. So we got about 5 to 10 FPS more than previously. Okay, so this is very playable experience at 4K now. And let me now go ahead and turn the graphic settings more higher even. And we were at high. Now let's go to extra high. Extra high settings, add 4K native. It's not going to be very playable, as you can see, 17 FPS average, so I'm going to try that. Let's go and enable FSR2 now. First, let's turn off motion blur, which doesn't look very good, and go to FSR2 on quality. Let's see if we can get more than 30. Yes, indeed we can, about 35. So let's start counting the frames again. And at 4K, even as you can see, the memory usage or VRAM usage is still very under control, and about 6.6 gigabytes of VRAM usage. So this game is very playable even at 4K on the GPU. So let's turn on. Let's turn to medium FSR now, FSR2, or balanced FSR2. Add extra high settings, balanced FSR2 now, and even this netting, as you can see. When I'm trying to turn it left and right, it's not becoming blurry or smudgy, which happens at 1080p. And at 4K, FSR2 is coming out very good in this game, and everything looks very sharp and crispy. Now let's go to FSR2 on performance and see if we get some issues with the image quality. And let's also see the FPS. Alright, FPS is close to 55 now. Yeah, as you can see, the netting now, when you're moving and when the camera is moving, the netting is becoming blurry. And it doesn't look very good. So balanced FSR2 on 4K is very doable. So yeah guys, I hope you guys get an idea of how this game is performing, and I would love if you could subscribe to the channel, because many new videos are coming for the new games, and like the video if you liked it, subscribe to the channel and all that good stuff, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.